So what a strange 24 hours. If you've followed this at all, I got a comment from a guy who wasn't happy with a knife, and I make it very well known, and I'm going to state it here again. This is the last time I'm going to talk about these two videos and this particular person. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be removing these two videos just because I don't want that kind of negativity and unpleasantness and that person in my life anymore. This person, Eric, there's something wrong with him. And for some reason, he has focused his energies on me. I can't do any better than offering his money back for a knife that he doesn't like. And then he listed a long list of things that were wrong with the knife, which is not true. He said that the handle had some kind of glopped on coating, which is not true. It was a stabilized wood. You don't put anything on that. You sand it and buff it. There's no coating on it. And, he was complaining that the sheath was too tight. Well, it's a freaking neck knife that hangs upside down on your neck. It has to be tight. And then he was complaining that there was no lanyard hole. Well, none of my neck knives have ever had a lanyard hole. I don't put lanyard holes on them because the handle is small. That small. There's not enough handle there to put a lanyard hole through. And you specifically asked for a small handle, so there was even less room for a lanyard hole. And you said that it wasn't heat treated. Well, I know you're lying because you won't return the blade. So here's what I'm going to do. After Christmas, I can't do it right now because I don't have enough money. I'm going to give you your full refund back. I'm going to add $10 to it just in case you're man enough to ship that knife back to me. And I know you won't because I know you're a cowardly little man. And that's the end of this. I've blocked you, Eric, from my channel, and you are not allowed back in my life. And feel free to thumbs down every single video. I welcome you to my thumbs down fans. So that's all I'm going to say about this. If you ever buy a knife from me, I give 100% money back guarantees for any time, for any reason. You get the knife, you open it up, you immediately dislike it, you send it back. I'll give you a full refund and I'll pay the shipping. 6 months down the road, you decide there's some kind of mechanical flaw in it, I'll give you your money back. This knife making is, there's only two things in my life that I've done that I'm very, very proud of. I drove a truck my entire life, including the Army. And I was a good truck driver, and I was good at it. And I loved my job. And, I've done a lot of things and had a lot of interests, but knife making is something that I seem to have gotten really good at really fast. And I'm very proud of the knives I send out. And I don't send a knife out unless I'm proud of it. So that's why I offer a money-back guarantee, because if you're not proud to own it, I don't want you to have it. So that's it. Now, the next, from here on, is just knife clips of me making knives. These two videos I'm taking down, and I appreciate everybody's support and comments, but I just don't want that kind of bullshit in my life. And this guy's gone. We're done. He's blocked. He's not coming back. And who knows? He may be the kind of guy that comes back with another channel just so he can leave stupid comments. But that's fine. I'll deal with that as it happens. And actually, I think I got my check today. I'll have to check my bank. And if I got my check today, tomorrow I will be sending you your $105. It's a $95 knife, which is the cheapest knife I make, by the way. And I'm sending you $105, and that'll cover shipping back to me. And if you don't send the knife back to me, I'll know what kind of person you are, and you will too. Well, I got these out of the vinegar and scrubbed away the coating that is on these, most of the coating. And I wanted to show you a phenomenon called decarburization that happens when you put these in the heat treating oven and it's exposed to flame, it's called decarburization. And what it does is it burns off some of the carbon that's in the metal. This is high carbon steel. It's 1084. And that's what they make knives out of. You know, there's stainless. There's varying degrees of carbon percentages. There's 1095, there's 1080, there's 1084. This is 1084. And the carbon, here's what happens to the carbon. I'm going to give you see if I can close up on this. You see these pock marks here? That is the carbon burning out of the steel. And it's a real problem. It's a lot of work to bring a knife to the level that it has to be in order to heat treat it. And then you got to clean all the black stuff off it. And then if you happen to have a knife, a blade that suffered this decarburization, you got to go back to 220, 300, 320 rather, start all over again, sanding. You got to sand past the pits. And now that the blade is hardened, it's twice as hard to sand through this steel. So I got to do it though, or else there is another option. And I keep telling myself I'm going to do it. It's kind of an expensive option, but you know, you weigh the expense of that versus the expense of sandpaper that you got to do over and over, and your time and your arms. And you know, it's costly at first, but in the long run, it would probably be just about the same. And it's like aluminum foil, except it's stainless steel, and they call it tool wrap. And you make a little packet, you fold it over, and what you're doing is trying to keep the oxygen from burning up out of the, or is it the oxygen from getting into it? And there are people that put easily flammable things in the little packet that they make, so it catches on fire and burns up the oxygen in the packet, and it doesn't allow the steel to decarburize. And on top of that, it's much cleaner when it comes out. It requires very little cleanup and far less frequent things like this decarburization. Let me see what happened if it's got it on the other side. I think it does on the ripasso. Yeah, I can see I'm going to have some right here. And I don't know if you remember yesterday when I was moving the knife in and out, I was doing that so you don't let the flame stay in one area of the blade too long, because that's what happens. But, I mean, it happens regardless, but you can, you know, help to negate that problem by constant movement. And some people have this rack that they set in their oven, but if you'll notice, my oven is only about that tall, so I had to put my blades in sideways. Otherwise, I would get this ceramic rack, and you set your blade in it up like this, so the flame doesn't hit the edge of the blade, it hits the spine. And if it decarburizes the spine, it's a whole lot easier to sand through, you know, 3/16 than it is that much. So, alrighty, that's probably more than you ever wanted to know about 1084 knife steel. Okay, let me show you the side I've finished, how I was able to sand all of the decarburization pock marks out of there. Took a lot of sanding. And let me show you what I got on this side, which is the side that I had facing up for a longer length of time than this side. So here we are. That's going to require about twice the work as it did on the other side. Boy. And I got a feeling this one's going to be nearly as bad, but that's all right. And this is why sometimes knife making takes me forever, because I really don't want to move on to the handle stage until I have these two knives, you know, at that stage also. So this is going to put those a little, and the reason is it requires different tools, and as I've gotten older, I cannot multitask like I could when I was younger. I have to focus on one thing, or else I can focus on one thing and do one thing well, but I cannot focus on many things. They all suffer. So these knives are going to take just a little longer, because it's going to take me a little longer to get these to that point where they need handles. And tomorrow I plan on riding my motorcycle, because it's going to be a beautiful day in the mid-60s and sunny. So my wife and I, we'll probably go on a short ride. And I don't think I'll be doing handles on the same wavelength, on the same hand. I'm also working on my YouTube channel. I have, probably more than 2,000, a little more than 2,000 videos, like 220 videos up since I started my channel in 2006, but I don't think I put a video up until 2007. Yeah. It might have been 2006, because that's when I bought my, no. I think it was 2008, because my very first video was of me putting an airbag on my Volvo truck, which I now call the Antichrist, after it nearly drove me into bankruptcy. But anyway, I'm working on my channel, and what I'm doing is going all the way back to the very beginning of my videos. Here, let's look outside, and I'll tell you the story. I've sort of had an epiphany about how I feel about you, my subscribers, and most of you are my friends. Most of you have my phone number, or at least my email, and there's a lot of folks that I talk to on the phone and have become really good friends over the years. And some of you have met, and some, like Rob over in Bossier, Rob's Homemade, Rob's Homemade Life, he's a good friend of mine, and we talk frequently. But Just Plain Common Sense and The Feral Human, he's got those two channels. We become good friends over the years through YouTube. And I've rethought, I do make some money from my YouTube channel. Even if I chose not to monetize, I have no choice. And even if you put videos up and you're not allowed to monetize, YouTube monetizes. So there's very little control I have over that. And honestly, I need that money. It goes a long way to buying a little extra goodies around here, So I have removed every link. I'm no longer an affiliate for All American Sun Ovens. I'm no longer an affiliate for Rada Cutlery. I'm no longer an affiliate for Patriot Supply. But I never did go back and remove all those links. And I'm doing that now. And since I'm doing that, some of my titles in the past have not been very, they haven't accurately described the video. I've put little catchy, funny titles that may not have much to do with the video, just because I like to joke. But what it does is it pushes the videos that may have some information somebody might want down in the search results, because the title doesn't accurately describe the video. So I've learned a lot over the years, and I'm using that knowledge now. I'm going back and removing stupid titles, or cutesy titles, funny titles, and putting titles on that accurately describe what the video is about. And in my description, the very first thing I'm doing is describing what the video is about. And then I'm using my Amazon link. Now, I do not feel bad about an Amazon link, because it costs you nothing to shop through my Amazon link, number one. And number two, I don't pester you to death about my Amazon link. I mention it occasionally, and it's always in my description, and that's it. And if you decide to shop through my Amazon link, I'm truly grateful. And if you don't, I'm not going to, pester people over it. So that's what I'm doing to my channel, and it's already made a huge difference. And it's so boring. oh my God, it's just so boring going back 10 years or more, 12 years. Well, now I'm probably about 8 years back because I finally got to about video 1400. And I will actually finish video 1400 and move into the 1350 group of 50 that you're allowed to work on at a time. So I'm doing that in my spare time, and I'm working on these knives, and I'm tinkering in the garage, and I'm riding motorcycles when it's nice out. And tomorrow's going to be a nice day. So I guess what I'm saying is these knives fit into my life when it's convenient. And I thought, for a moment, I thought that I would just stop taking orders and make knives that I want to make, and then when I'm finished with them, offer them for sale. But I'm not going to do that. What I will continue to take orders, but I will let people know up front that it could be 3 or 4 months before I make the knife. Because, number one, I don't make knives so I can sell them. I sell knives so I can make them. My motivation for making knives isn't so I can sell them. I like making knives, and it's a very fun, creative outlet that I really enjoy. So I'm not going to let it take me over, and I'm not going to let it make making knives unpleasant, having orders. So it's not the having orders that makes it unpleasant. It's the fact that I haven't made it clear to people that it could be a very long while, months, before I get to making it. And if you're on the list, you're on the list. And I do not take money up front. And when I get the knife made, it could be several months. I'll give you a ringy-dingy or an email. And if you still want it then, fine. If you don't, I fully understand. Life changes quickly. And our wants and our needs all change. And if you decide you don't want the knife, then, no hard feelings. I will offer it for sale. So I'm going to stop sweating the length of time it takes me to make knives, and I'm going to go back to enjoying knives again and doing that when it fits comfortably into my life among the other things I like to do. And then there's shopping. I don't like my wife to go anywhere by herself. She's an older gal, I'm an older guy, and we are targets now in public, especially young people. Now, they have no respect at all for old folks. And as a matter of fact, we are pretty much, old white folks are pretty much to blame for all the ills of this world right now. We are a common source of blame and a very easy target, because not many of us are willing to fight back. They just haven't come across the right people. Believe me, I go everywhere armed, and so does my wife. And I think I've mentioned my Peaceful Protester Highway Survival Kit that I keep in my truck. I won't go into that, but maybe you saw that video. So anyway, I'm digressing. Back to the knives. I'm going to get these 2 knives up to the handle point where they need handles. I'll be ready for handles, and then I move over here and I start working on handles. Whole different bench, whole different set of tools. I mean, I use my bandsaw and stuff like that. So let me get this done. Boy, I talk a lot. 9.5 minutes, almost 10 minutes. Sorry. Okay, what a ton of sanding. Now, you can see where I've done the flat part up here. I have done the bevel. I have done a little bit on the bevel, but the flat part is good to go. Now, I got to start on the bevel, and then I got a whole nother knife I got to do the same thing to, so it's going to be a long afternoon. My God, it took forever to get this out of there, but it's good. I'm going to go put this on my buffer. Now, this is a satin finish, and I could leave it like that. That's a very satisfactory satin finish, but I like my satin finishes to go out just a little bit better looking than that. And I'm going to go put it on my buffer and see if I can make it pretty. And then I'm probably going to go home and take a little break and come back and get to work on that one. All right. That's it. So these 5, the ones that are sold. Actually, I got to contact this gentleman. I'm going to do that right now. and make sure or check to see if he wants desert ironwood also. And mystery shopper, where are you? That's and okay, you're desert ironwood. So this is the only person I haven't contacted to make sure he still wants it. So I'm not. Here's the. I haven't put it in there yet. Yeah, I just don't have the sanding muscles to do this today. So I'm putting that on hold since there's no hurry for that. And these are all. The next process is going to the other table behind me for their handles, and start getting that. And once I get the handles on, the process moves pretty quick. I can get all the handles on in one day. I can, I'm not going to say I can shape them all in one day. Probably 2 days to shape them all and buff them and polish them up. And you know, another 2 or 3, maybe 4 days for sheaths. So time-wise, probably another 7 days as far as the amount of time it's going to take me. But like I say, tomorrow I'm going riding my motorcycle, my wife and I, and I don't know when I'll get back on. As soon as the weather turns bad again, I'll get back in here. Okay, see ya.